let's begin with the solution for the QT and DI section of CMAT 2023 slot 2. So overall, I would say this was a moderate section, not too easy also, but not too difficult also. There were some questions which might have been a little bit tricky or slightly lengthy, but overall there were enough easy questions that you could have targeted to maximize your score in this section. What was important, of course, was question selection. So let's start off with the first one. Now in the first question, we have been given a function and we have also been given the graph of the function. The function is mod 2x plus 4. And here you can see this is the graph for that particular function. The question is asking for which of the following functions g defined for all numbers x does the graph of g intersect the graph of f. So we have to go option by option because question is asking for which of the following functions. And we have the graph, so we will solve it graphically. Okay, let's use that information which is given, which will make it easier to solve and it will make it faster also. So if we look at the first option, we have gx is equal to x plus 3. To represent it graphically, we will take it as y is equal to x plus 3. So this is a linear equation. So we will get a straight line. To get the line, to get the graph for this, we will find the x and y intercepts. So when x is equal to 0, y will be equal to 3. And when y is equal to 0, x will be equal to minus 3. Connect these 2 points, you will get the graph for this line. So you will get something like this, roughly. Okay, now this will not be very precise and you don't even have to try to make it precise. Okay, what you just have to see now that you have got a rough idea of the graph. Okay, now you have to see that this original line in the function fx, okay, for this line, we had the slope of 2 because we had 2 into x. Whereas for the first option, we have 1 into x. So we have a slope of 1. Slope of 2 is greater than the slope of 1. So the line in our original function will be a steeper line. And as we can see here also, the line that we are getting for x plus 3 will be a flatter line. So we can see that these will never be able to intersect. So option 1 is not the correct option. Now let's look at option 2. So in option 2, we have 2x minus 2. So we will get y is equal to 2x minus 2. Now when y is equal to 0, we will get that x is equal to 1. And when x is equal to 0, we will get that y is equal to minus 2. Now when you connect these points to get the graph of this equation, you will get something like this. Okay, now again you have to focus on the slope. Original equation, this line had a slope of 2. And in this option, we also have 2x here also. So we have slope of 2. Okay, so both of these have the same slope. So they will be parallel lines. So the distance between them will always remain the same. So they will never be able to intersect. So this is also not the correct option. Now let's look at the next one. Next we have y is equal to 2x plus 3. When x is 0, y will be equal to 3. When y is 0, x will be minus 3 by 2. Okay, connect these. So we will get a line something like this. Now focus on the slope because your diagram might not be exact. So again, here we have a slope of 2. The original graph had a slope of 2. So we can see that they have the same slope. So they are parallel lines, which means they will never be able to intersect. So option 3 is also not correct, which means option 4 has to be correct. But anyway, let us take a look at it. So option 4, we have y is equal to 3x minus 2. When x is 0, y will be minus 2. When y is 0, x will be 2 by 3. Okay, so this is the line that we will get roughly. And you can see that the original graph, this part of it, will at some point intersect this line that we have. How do we know that it will intersect? Again, look at the slope. Here we have a slope of 3, which means this line for 3x minus 2, that is a much steeper line compared to what we have for the original function fx. So if this is a steeper line, it will definitely intersect that flatter line that we have for fx. And therefore, we will have an intersection here. So option 4 is the correct option. in this question, we have the cost of 3 components A, B, and C of an electronic machine worth 12,000 in 2020 is given as a pie chart. So in the pie chart, we can see A has 90 degrees, B has 120 degrees, C has the remaining portion. Then we have that in the following year, which is 2021, the cost of the components A, B, C increased by 10%, 20%, 10% respectively. And we have to find their cost in 2021. So let's start off with 2020. So we have A, B, and C. Now A had 90 degrees. And we know that the complete angle is 360 degrees about any point. So about this center, complete angle is 360, out of which A had 90. So A had 90 degrees out of 360 degrees. 90 by 360 is 1 by 4, 1/4. So A will have 1/4 of the total cost, which is 12,000. 90 by 360 into 12,000, 1/4 of 12,000, which will be 3,000. Okay, similarly for B, B had 120 degrees out of 360 degrees into the total cost of 12,000. 1/3 of 12,000, that will be 4,000. And now we can find C simply by subtracting A and B from the total. Total of 12,000 minus 3,000 for A minus 4,000 for B. That will give us 5,000 for C. And now we can find the cost in 2021. So A increased by 10%. So what is 10% of 3,000? 300. So A increased by 300 and it became 3,300. Similarly, we have 20% increase for B. 20% of 4,000 is 800. So we will get 4,800. And for C, we have 10%. 10% of 5,000 is 500. So we will get 5,500. Okay, 3,300, 4,800, 5,500. So we can see that option 2 will be the correct option. In this question, we have 2 statements. We have to check whether the statements are true or false. So let's start off with the first statement. First statement is telling us there is a savings account at Bank A, which is giving 6.2% interest compounded annually. Bank B is giving 6% compounded semi-annually. Then we have Bank B is paying less total interest each year. And that is the sentence. We have to check whether it is true or false. Now, we are talking about each year, per year. So let us just check for 1 year, for the first year. Now, Bank A, we have the exact value because we have annual compounding. Annual means yearly. So in 1 year, Bank A will give us 6.2% interest. Nothing to do here. It is directly 6.2%. But for Bank B, we have semi-annual compounding. That means that compound interest will be calculated after every half a year, semi-annually. Okay, so this 6% that we have for Bank B, that is for the full year. So for half a year, it will be half of that, it will be 3%. So for Bank B, for the first half of the year, we will have 3%. For the next half of the year, again, we will have 3%. And these will be successive percentage increases. The original principal will first increase by 3% in the first half of the year. And then this new amount will increase by 3% in the next half of the year. So 3%, 3% successive percentage increase. We can find out the overall percentage increase by using the formula. So 3% plus 3% plus 3 into 3 by 100%. Okay, so that will give us 6.09%. Now we can see B is giving 6.09%, A is giving 6.2%. 6.09 is definitely less than 6.2. Okay, and that is what statement 1 was saying, that Bank B is paying less. So this is a true statement. Now if you look at statement 2, a sum of money at a certain rate of compound interest doubles in 3 years. In 9 years, it will become P times the original principal. Then P is equal to 9. If I take the original sum of money to be X, after 3 years, as per the information, it will become double. So X into 2, that will give us 2X. And now this 2X, after another 3 years, will become double. So now we will get 4X. And now after another 3 years, this 4X will become double and we will get 8X. So 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, that is giving us the total 9 years that was needed. So in these total 9 years, the original principal of x finally became 8x. So it became 8 times. So the value of p will be equal to 8, but the statement is saying 9. So the statement is not a true statement. So we can see that statement 1 is true, statement 2 is false. So the answer will be option 3. In this question, if the selling price of 320 web cameras is equal to the cost price of 400 web cameras, then what is the profit percent? So if I take the selling price of one camera to be SP, then for 320 cameras, selling price will be 320 into SP. And that will be equal to cost price of 400 cameras. If I take the cost price of one camera to be CP, then for 400 cameras, it will be 400 into CP. So we will get SP by CP is equal to 400 by 320. Cancel off with 80. So SP by CP will give us 5 by 4. So now we are getting the ratio of SP and CP. Okay, so now we can say that if the SP is 5, then the CP will be 4 from this 5 by 4. So if the CP is 4, SP is 5, that is giving us a profit of 1, profit of 5 minus 4, which is 1. So what will be the profit percent? Profit of 1 by the CP of 4 into 100. So we will get 25%. Option 4. In this question, we have to find what is the 95th term of the following letter series. Let us observe this. We have 2 A's, we have 4 B's, we have 6 C's, we have 8 D's, and that is the pattern we have to follow. So the first letter A is appearing 2 times. First letter is appearing 2 times. Second letter B is appearing 4 times. Third letter C is appearing 6 times. Fourth letter D is appearing 8 times. So we can very clearly see the pattern. Whatever is the position in the alphabet, okay, then that letter will appear double that number of times. So if we just generalize, we can say that the nth letter will appear 2n times. It will give us 2n terms. So if we just generalize and we calculate the number of terms for n letters in total, okay, until the nth letter. So what will we get? We will get 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 all the way up till 2n. Now when we take 2 common from this, we will get 2 into 1 plus 2 plus 3 all the way up till n. Now we know 1 plus 2 plus 3 until n, sum of the first n natural numbers, that will be n into n plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, so now the 2 will cancel off. Ultimately, we will just get n into n plus 1. And now we have to come as close to 95 as possible because we want what is the 95th term. So for n into n plus 1, just by doing a bit of trial and error, we can see that for n is equal to 9, n into n plus 1 will become 9 into 10, which will be 90. Now when n is equal to 9, okay, that means we will have used up the first 9 letters. What is the 9th letter? The 9th letter is I, which means when we write down the first 9 letters as per this pattern, okay, then when we come to the end of the last 9th letter, we will have 90 terms in total. So this last I will be the 90th term. And after I, we will start off with J. J is the 10th letter, so it will appear a total of 20 times. So it will appear enough times. So now next 91st letter will be J, 92nd will be J, 93rd, 94th, and finally the 95th also will be J. Okay, so the answer to this question will be option 3, J. Here we have, if x is greater than 0, then which of the following expressions are equal to 3.6% of 5x by 12? So before we look at the different options that are given, let us just simplify this. So 3.6% of 5x by 12, 3.6% will be 3.6 by 100. So that will be 36 by 1000. and into 5x by 12. So when we simplify this, we will get 3x by 200. Now, when we scan through the options, we can see that E is exactly equal to 3x by 200. So E will definitely be one of the correct values that we have out of A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Now, if you look at the options, we can eliminate those options which don't have E, because we know that E is definitely correct. E is equal to 3x by 200. So you can eliminate option 1 that doesn't have E. We can eliminate option 3 also. Now we just have to choose between options 2 and 4. In option 2, we have A along with E, and in option 4, we have B along with E. So let us just look at A and B. In A, we have 3% of 20x. 3% of 20x will be 3 by 100 into 20x. So that will be 3x by 5. This is definitely not equal to 3x by 200. So A is not correct. So option 2 is not correct. Here itself, we can mark option 4. But anyway, let's calculate B. X percent of 3 by 2. So x by 100 into 3 by 2. So that will be 3x by 200. So we can see that B is also equal to 3x by 200. So the correct option is option 4. Okay, let's start with this question. Here we have a certain sum of money earns a simple interest of 800 over a 2-year period. The same sum of money invested at the same rate of interest and the same period on compound interest basis earns an interest of 900. We have to find the sum. Very, very standard question. So we have the simple interest, the SI, for 2 years in total. So let us break it up in terms of the first year and the second year. How much will we have in the first year? And how much will we have in the second year? See, we have the total of the first and the second years combined, which is 800. And we know that the simple interest is the same every year because it is always calculated on the original principal. So the total of 800 will be split equally among the first 2 years. So each of the first 2 years will have half of 800, which will be 400. And now when we come to the compound interest, we have been given total is 900 for compound interest for the first 2 years. And now if the principal is the same, rate of interest is the same, and nothing has been given about compounding semi-annually, so we have to assume that we are compounding annually. So if all of those conditions are the same, that you have the same principal, same rate of interest, and you are compounding annually, then in the first year, the compound interest will be the same as the simple interest because both of them will just be calculated on the original principal. So if we have 400 as the simple interest in the first year, that will also be the compound interest in the first year. And now we can find the compound interest in the second year, total of 900 minus the first year's value of 400. So we will get 500. But let us write it in terms of the interest of the first year. 500 is 400 plus 100. What is the benefit here? So when we observe, we can see when we compare the compound interest of the first and the second years, we can see that in the second year, we have this extra 100 rupees of interest. How are we getting that extra interest in the second year? That is the concept of interest on interest. Okay, so the interest of the first year, okay, when the rate of interest is applied on the interest of the first year, that is giving us the extra interest in the second year. So R percent of the interest of the first year, which is 400, that will give you the extra 100 rupees interest in the second year. From here, we can find the value of R. So we have R by 100 into 400 is equal to 100. Okay, from this, we will get that the value of R is equal to 25. Rate of interest is 25%. And now we have to find the sum. So now we just have to think that whatever is the original sum, from there we got the interest of the first year, whether you talk about simple interest or compound interest. So the rate of interest applied on the original principal, that gave us the 400 interest in the first year. So R percent of the principal is equal to 400. So R we have found. So we will have 25% of the principal is 400. 25% is 1/4. So 1/4 of principal is 400, which will give us principal is equal to 1600. And therefore, the correct option will be option 2. In this question, we have A, B, and C are the ages of the 3 people P, Q, and R respectively, where A is less than equal to B is less than equal to C, and all of these are natural numbers. Then the average age of the 3 people is 32 years. And if the age of Q is exactly 6 years more than that of P, then what will be the minimum possible value of C? So we have 3 people P, Q, and R. Basically, it has been given age of P is less than equal to age of Q is less than equal to age of R, and their average age is equal to 32. Now, just to get a starting point, without considering the conditions first, just to get a starting point, we can come up with this situation where each of these ages can be 32, because we have the less than equal to sign, so they will be satisfied. Okay, and if we take each of the individual ages to be 32, the average age of 32 will be satisfied. So this will be our starting point. Now let's try to satisfy the conditions. So we want the age of Q to be 6 more than the age of P. We want the difference to become 6. Now, thinking about it, if, how can we get the difference of 6? First of all, we can decrease the value of P. That will give us a difference between P and Q. Or we can increase the value of Q. That will also give us a difference. Now, in either of these cases, we will have to increase the value of R because of the less than equal to signs. For example, if I decrease the value of P, okay, then my total has to be the same because my average has to be the same. So if I'm decreasing P by any number, I have to increase the others by the same number. Okay, but I cannot increase Q directly because then Q will become more than R. That will not be valid. So if I decrease P, I will also have to increase R to get the same average. And similarly, if I increase Q, then I will also have to increase R so that Q doesn't become more than R. So ultimately, whatever we do, we have to increase R. Now we want the minimum possible value of R that will satisfy the conditions. So let's keep increasing R by the minimum possible. After 32, the minimum possible is 33. Okay, let us see what we will get with 33. Now we want to increase the difference between P and Q to 6 years. So if I've made R 33, I can increase Q to 33 also. Because when I increase Q, the difference between P and Q increases. And now to make sure that we get the same average age, okay, look at the total. Q has increased by 1. R has increased by 1. So the total has increased by 2. So to get the same average, we need to get the same total. So the increase of 2 has to be cancelled off, has to be balanced out by a decrease of 2. And that will happen in P now. So P will decrease by 2 and it will become 30. Now we can see that the difference between P and Q will become 3. 30 and 33, difference is 3. So when we increased R by 1, the difference between P and Q increased by 3. So now we can see if we increase R by 1 more, the difference will increase by another 3. So it will become 6. Let's see that. So R, if we now increase to 34, we can increase Q to 34 also to increase the difference between P and Q. And now the total is increasing by 2 because Q and R, each of them is increasing by 1. So that total increase of 2, we will have to balance out with a decrease of 2. So P will decrease by 2 and it will become 28. And now we can see between 28 and 34, the difference will become 6. And that is happening when R is minimum 34. So the answer will be option 1. Okay, here we have two statements. We have to check whether the statements are true or false. Let's start off with the first one. So in the first statement, we have two situations. In one situation, Ravi is walking from home to college at a speed of 5 km per hour and he's reaching the college 10 minutes late. So when he's reaching the college 10 minutes late, then his speed is 5 km per hour. Then we have another situation. that when he's increasing the speed by 1 kilometer per hour, so it is becoming 6 kilometers per hour. Then he's reaching the college 4 minutes earlier than the scheduled time. So now he is 4 minutes early. It has been given if the college is p kilometers far from his house, then p is equal to 7.5 kilometers. We have to check whether that is true or not. So we have to find the distance. In both of these cases, the distance is the same. We have the speeds. So we have the ratio of the speeds 5:6. So the ratio of the times for the same distance will become 6:5, simply the reciprocal values. Now, we have the ratio of the time now, and we have this comparison of the times. In the first situation, 10 minutes late. Second situation, 4 minutes early. So 10 minutes late is usual time plus 10. 4 minutes early is usual time minus 4. So the difference between plus 10 and minus 4 is 14. We have a difference of 14 minutes in these two situations. And if we look at the ratio of the time, the difference between 6 and 5 is 1. So this difference of 1 corresponds to actual 14 minutes, which means 5 in the ratio of time will correspond to 5 into 14, 70 minutes. So now we can say that when he goes at the speed of 6 kilometers per hour, he takes the time of 70 minutes. And now we can find the distance p. Speed into time. Speed is 6 kilometers per hour. Time we just have to convert to hours. 70 minutes will be 70 by 60 hours. Okay, so when we calculate this, we will get p to be 7 kilometers, whereas it has given to be 7.5. So statement 1 is not a true statement, it is a false statement. Now we'll look at statement 2. Okay, so in the second statement, we have that A runs 2 1/3 times as fast as B. So we have two people, A and B, and we have a comparison of their speeds. So 2 1/3, that is 7/3. So A speed is 7/3 times the speed of B. So if I take the speed of B to be 3, the value in the denominator, then A speed will come out to be 7. And that is simply the ratio of their speeds. Now, they will be running for the same time. Okay, that has been given in the statement. So if the time is constant, then whatever is the ratio of the speeds, that will also be the ratio of the distances. Okay, so ratio of the distances will be 7:3. Now it has been given that Amit will give Babita a start of 80 meters. And the winning post must be 140 meters far, so that they reach it at the same time. We have to check whether it will actually be 140 meters far or not. Let us understand this visually. Let us say that this is the starting point and this is the finishing point. Amit will start from the starting point and reach the finishing point. Okay, now Babita is getting a start of 80 meters. So Babita will start 80 meters ahead of the starting point. And then Babita will also reach the finishing point at the same time as given in the statement. So when we compare, we can see that the distance that A will run will be 80 meters more than what B will run because B got a start of 80 meters. So the difference in their distances is 80 meters. Now we have the ratio of the distance, 7:3. 7 and 3, the difference is 4. Okay, and the actual difference is 80 meters. So we can say that 4 corresponds to 80 meters. So 1 corresponds to 20 meters. And now the 7 that we have will therefore correspond to 7 into 20 meters, which will be 140 meters. Why are we looking at this 7? Okay, which is giving us the distance run by A. Because we can see here in this visual representation that A is running the entire length of the track, the entire length of the race from the start to the finish. A is not getting any head start. Okay, so the distance run by A, which is 140 meters, that must be how far the winning post is. And that is what has been given in the statement. Okay, so statement 2 is true. So we have seen that statement 1 is false, 2 is true. So the correct option will be option 4. Okay, here we have a train running at 18 kilometers per hour, crosses a mark on a platform in 9 seconds and takes 25 seconds to cross the platform. If P is the length of the train and Q is the length of the platform in meters, then what will be the values of P and Q? So first of all, we can see that the time given is in terms of seconds, and we have to find the length in terms of meters. So first of all, the speed of the train, which is 18 kilometers per hour, let us convert it to meters per second. So it will be 18 into 5 by 18 meters per second. Okay, so that will give us 5 meters per second. Now, let us first of all find the length of the train, which is P. Okay, so what will be the length? So we have that the train is crossing a mark in 9 seconds. Okay, that means when a train is simply crossing a mark, a point, then the distance the train is covering is simply the length of the train itself. Okay, so here the distance will be the length of the train, which is P. And we know that distance is equal to speed into time. Speed we have 5 meters per second into the time that the train is taking, which is 9 seconds. So 5 into 9, we will get that P is equal to 45 meters. And now we have to find the value of Q, the length of the platform. So when a train is crossing a platform, then the total distance that the train is covering is equal to the length of the train, P, plus the length of the platform, which is Q. Okay, so this will be the distance, and distance is speed into time. Speed is 5 meters per second into the time, which is 25 seconds to cross the platform. So we will get P plus Q is 5 into 25. P we have found to be 45. So 45 plus Q is equal to 125, and that will give us that Q is equal to 80. So we have got that P is equal to 45 meters, Q is equal to 80 meters. So the answer will be option 1. In this question, we have that 5 to the power A is equal to 9 to the power B, and both of them are equal to 2025. We have to find A into B divided by A plus B. Now, when we explore this number 2025 and break it down in terms of 5 and 9, we will get that 5 to the power A is equal to 9 to the power B, and both are equal to 5 square into 9 square. 2025 is 45 square, 45 is 5 into 9, so 5 square into 9 square. Now, the value we have to find is in terms of A and B both. Okay, so let us look at this. 5 to the power A is equal to 9 to the power B. Now we can express any one of the values in terms of the other value. For example, if I divide both of the powers by B, I will get 5 to the power A by B is equal to 9 to the power 1. Now if I take this part, 5 to the power A is equal to 5 square into 9 square. Okay, and now I can express the 9 in terms of powers of 5, because we have here 9 is equal to 5 to the power A by B. So here instead of 9, we have 9 square. So instead of 9, we will write 5 to the power A by B. And now we have all the values in terms of powers of 5. So now we can calculate easily. So we have 5 to the power A is equal to 5 square into 5 to the power. Powers will be multiplied when we open the bracket. So we will get 2A by B. Okay, now we will get 5 to the power A is equal to 5 to the power 2 plus 2A by B. Okay, so now we can equate the powers. We will get that A is equal to 2 plus 2A by B. We have B in the denominator in one of the values. So multiply all the terms with B. So we will get AB is equal to 2B plus 2A. Okay, we can take 2 common from the right hand side. So AB is equal to 2 into B plus A. And B plus A, now just bring it to the left hand side. B plus A is the same as A plus B. So we will get AB by A plus B is equal to 2. Okay, so the answer will be option 3. In this question, we have 2 statements. We have to see whether they are true or false. In the first statement, we have that the number of ways to pack 6 copies of the same book into 4 identical boxes, where a box can contain as many as 6 books, is 9. Okay, we have to check whether it will in fact be 9 or not. Here it is important to observe that all the books are the same. Okay, they are identical. All the boxes are also identical. So what just matters is the number distribution. Doesn't matter which books are in which box, because all books and boxes are identical. So exploring this first statement, the 6 copies that we have of the same book. Okay, what is the first way to distribute into the 4 identical boxes? Focus on the numbers. First possibility is that all the 6 books will be in one box and other 3 boxes will have 0 books. So this will be one possibility, 6, 0, 0, 0. Doesn't matter which box has the 6 books because all the boxes are identical. Now we are done with 6. Now let us move down to 5. So if one box has 5 books, then another one of the boxes will have 1 book and remaining will have 0. So this is one more distribution. Doesn't matter which 5 books are together or which 1 book is separate because all the books are identical. Now after 5 we have 4. So if one box has 4, now we get 2 cases. We can have that another box will have 2 and then remaining will be 0 for the total of 6. Or we can have 4, 1, 1, 0. Now we are done with 4. Let's move down to 3. So if one box has 3, then we can have another will have 3 and then we will have 0, 0. Or we can have 3, 2, 1, 0. Or we can have 3, 1, 1, 1. All the possibilities with 3. Okay, now finally let's move down to 2. So if one box has 2, okay, then 2 other boxes can also have 2. Last one will be 0. Or we can also have 2, 2, 1, 1. And now we can see that nothing else is possible. So how many cases are we getting here? When you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you are getting total 9 ways. The statement 1 was saying total 9 ways. So it is a true statement. Now in the second statement, we have that the minimum number of students needed in a class to guarantee that there are at least 6 students whose birthday fall in the same month is 61. We have to check whether it will in fact be 61 or not. Now here we have to guarantee it. Okay, so in these questions where you have to guarantee, you have to avoid satisfying this situation as much as possible. And then when you come to the point where you cannot avoid it, then it will be guaranteed. So what is the situation? We want at least 6 students with birthday in the same month. Let us try to avoid it as much as possible. So if I talk about January, I can have 5 students with birthday in January and I will be avoiding this at least 6 students will have birthday in the same month. That will be avoided with 5 students. Similarly for February, if I have 5 students with birthday in February, that situation will be avoided. Okay, so for each of the months, January, February, all the way up till December, if you have 5 students for each of the months, okay, then you will not get at least 6 students with birthday in the same month. That situation will be avoided completely. And now, how many students will we have in total until now? 5 for each of the 12 months. 12 into 5, 60 students in total. Okay, and now if we just add one more student to any of the months, whichever month we add it to, in that month, the number of students will increase by 1. So from 5, it will become 6. Okay, and then we will definitely have at least 6 students whose birthday fall in the same month. So then it will be guaranteed when we add one more student, which means when we get 60 plus 1, which is 61 students. And that is what the statement was saying, 61. So this is also a true statement. Both the statements are true. So the answer will be option 1. In this question, we have a number of distinct 8-letter words are possible using the letters of the word syllabus. If a word is chosen at random, then let's look at the first statement first. The probability that the word contains the 2 S's together is 1 by 4. Okay, we are dealing with probability. And we are talking about the arrangement of the letters. So first, let's find the total number of ways of arranging the letters of syllabus. How many letters are there? 8 letters. 8 objects can be arranged in 8 factorial ways. But out of these 8 objects, we have 2 S's that are identical. So we will divide by 2 factorial. And we also have 2 L's that are identical. So we will also divide by another 2 factorial. Okay, so this will be the total number of ways of arranging all the 8 letters of syllabus. Let's just simplify this. 8 factorial will be 8 into 7 factorial. divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial, that will be 4. So we will get 2 into 7 factorial as the total number of ways. Now let's come to the first statement. So in the first statement, we have that the probability word contains the two s's together. If you want the s's to be together, put them inside a box. Then they will have to be together. So this box will become one object that we are arranging, and the other letters will become the other objects. The other letters are Y, L, L, A, B, U. Okay, so we have 6 other letters and we have this one box. So we have total 7 objects. 7 objects can be arranged in 7 factorial ways. Now we have 2 identical objects, the 2 L's. So we will divide by 2 factorial. Okay, we don't have to worry about S inside the box because they are identical. Okay, there will be no other way to arrange the S's inside the box. So the number of ways here such that the 2 S's are together will be 7 factorial by 2 factorial. And now if we want to find the probability, then it will be the number of ways here, 7 factorial by 2 factorial, divided by the total number of ways, which is 2 into 7 factorial. Okay, so divided by, which is into 1 by 2 into 7 factorial. And now we can just simplify, 7 factorial will cancel off. So we will get 1 by 4. And in this statement, we did have 1 by 4. So this is a true statement. Now if you look at statement 2, it is telling us that the probability that the word begins and ends with L is 1 by 28. So if the first letter is L, last letter is also L. So other 6 letters will be in between. We will have the other 6 letters in between the 2 L's. Now the positions of the L's are fixed. We can't do anything about them. We don't have to arrange them. But the other 6 letters we have to arrange. What is the number of ways? 6 objects can be arranged in 6 places in 6 factorial ways. And out of these 6 objects, 2 of them will be identical. The 2 S's will be identical. So divide by 2 factorial. And now if we come to the probability, okay, then this number of ways, 6 factorial by 2 factorial, divided by the total number of ways, 2 into 7 factorial. So into 1 by 2 into 7 factorial. Now we can simplify this. So we will have 6 factorial by 2 factorial into 1 by 2 into, and 7 factorial, we can write it as 7 into 6 factorial. Now 6 factorial will cancel off, and in the denominator we will have 2 into 7, which is 28. So 1 by 28, which is what was given in the statement. So both of the statements are true. So the answer will be option 1. So here again, we have 2 statements. We have to see whether they are true or false. Now let's look at statement 1 first. So here we have ratio of son's age to father's age, 1:5. We have a son, we have a father. Ratio of ages, 1:5. So from this ratio, we can take their actual ages to be x and 5x. And now we have the product of their ages, 245. So x into 5x is equal to 245. So from here, we will get the value of x, which is 7. Okay, so son's age x will come out to be 7. Father's age 5x will be 35. And we are talking about their ages after 9 years now. Okay, so if it was 7 presently for the son, then after 9 years, it will become 7 plus 9, which will be 16. And for the father, after 9 years, so 35 plus 9. So that will be 44. So after 9 years, ratio of their ages will be 16:44. Simplifying by dividing by 4, we will get 4:11. But the statement is saying 3:5, whereas we are getting 4:11. So this is not a true statement. Now if you look at statement 2, here we have that a milkman adds 30 liters of water to 70 liters of milk. After selling 1/5 of the total quantity, he adds water equal to the quantity he sold. Proportion of water to milk he sells now would be 28:72. Now, initially he had 70 liters of milk. He's selling 1/5 of the total, which means he's selling 1/5 of the water, selling 1/5 of the milk, and then he's adding water equal to the quantity sold. He's adding back water, but he's not adding back milk. That means milk he is just selling. Now, if he's selling 1/5 of the total, he's selling 1/5 of the milk. So what will be the final quantity of milk that we have? Initially, we had 70. Out of 70, 1/5 will be sold. 4/5 will be remaining. 1 minus 1/5, 4/5. So final quantity of milk will be 70 into 4/5, and that will give you 56. Okay, now what will be the final quantity of water? Here you have to keep in mind that the total remains the same. So what was the total initially? 30 liters water, 70 liters milk. So total was 100. And then whatever we sold, we replaced the same with an equal quantity of water. So the total will remain the same at 100. And therefore, the final quantity of water will be the total minus the final quantity of milk, which is 56. So it will be 44. And we have to find the final ratio of water and milk. Okay, so final ratio of water and milk will be 44 is to 56, divide by 4. So we will get 11 is to 14. But the statement is saying 28 is to 72. So this is also a false statement. So both of the statements are false, which means the answer is option 2. Okay, here we have what is the probability of getting a sum of 22 or more when 4 dice are thrown. So first of all, every dice has numbers from 1 to 6. Okay, now we want probability of a sum of 22 or more. What is the maximum sum we can get? The maximum number on any dice is 6. So when we have 4 dice, maximum sum will be when each of the 4 dice have the maximum number of 6. So the maximum sum will be 6 into 4, 24. And what are the ways to get 24? Only one way. When each of the 4 dice has 6. 6, 6, 6, 6. So there is only one way to get this 24. Now after 24, the next sum is 23 because 24 was the maximum. How can we get 23? 23 is 1 less than 24, which means we need to decrease one of the numbers by 1. Okay, so we will get 6, 6, 6 and 5. That will be 23. Now here it has not been given that the 4 dice are identical. So now we have to think that this 5 that is there on one of the dice, it can be on any one of the 4 dice. So we are getting 4 different cases here. 4 different ways of getting the sum of 23. Next possible sum and the last possible sum is 22. For 22, we have two cases, two combinations. Either we can think of it this way, that 22 is 2 less than 24, decrease of 2. So either one of the numbers will decrease by 2 and we will get 6, 6, 6 and 4, or two of the numbers, each of them will decrease by 1. So we will get 6, 6, 5, 5. Now for 6, 6, 6, 4, there are 4 ways because the 4 can be on any one of the 4 dice, 4 ways. Whereas for 6, 6, 5, 5, how many ways? So just think about arranging these numbers. 6, 6, 5, 5, we have 4 numbers, 4 objects can be arranged in 4 factorial ways. Okay, then 2 6s are identical, divide by 2 factorial. 2 5s are identical, divide by another 2 factorial. So we will get 4 factorial by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. 24 by 4, that will give you 6. So what is the total number of ways of getting a sum of 22 or more? 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 6. So that will be 15. Okay, so this is giving us the favorable outcomes. What about the total outcomes? So when we are throwing 4 dice, okay, what are the total outcomes, the total number of cases? So every dice has 6 possibilities. Every dice can have any number from 1 to 6. So the first dice can have any of the 6 numbers, 6 possibilities. And the second dice, again 6 possibilities. Every dice has 6 possibilities. So we will have 6 multiplied 4 times. Because we have 4 dice, each dice has 6 possibilities in total. So these will be the total outcomes. And favorable outcomes we have found to be 15. So favorable divided by total outcomes will give us the probability. Okay, so now when we solve this, we are getting 15 divided by 1296. Cancel off with 3. So we will get 5 divided by 432, which is there in option 1. In this question, we have the number of all integers n for which n square plus 96 is a perfect square is. So n square plus 96 is equal to a perfect square. Let us take it to be x square. So we will get x square minus n square is equal to 96, which is x plus n into x minus n is equal to 96. So clearly x plus n, x minus n are factors of 96 since their product is equal to 96. So now we have to think what are the different ways in which we can write 96 as the product of two factors. So start off with 1. We can write 96 as 1 into 96, then 2 into 48, then 3 into 32, 4 into 24, 6 into 16, 8 into 12, and that is it. Next combination we will get will be 12 into 8, which is the same as 8 into 12. So now we are getting these different cases. Okay, now in each of these cases, we have product of two factors of 96. Now for each of these cases, x plus n will be one of the factors and x minus n will be the other factor. Now we have to focus on n because we have to find number of all integers n. So these equations that we will get, when we subtract them, x will cancel off, n minus of minus n will give us 2n. Okay, and on the right hand side, we will have the difference between the two corresponding factors. Now we will get that 2n is equal to that difference. So n will be equal to that difference by 2. We need n to be an integer. So that difference between the two corresponding factors should be an even number. So that when you divide by 2, you get an integer value of n. Now if you look at the different possibilities, 1 into 96, the difference between 1 and 96 is not an even number. So this will not be valid. Similarly, 3 and 32 will not be valid. Okay, the other cases will be valid. Now, if we explore one of those other cases just to get an idea. So if we look at 2 into 48, we will get two possibilities. Either we can have that x plus n is equal to 2 and x minus n is equal to 48. Okay, then in this case, when we subtract, we will get 2n is equal to minus 46. So n will be equal to minus 23. But we can also have another case, 2 into 48. We can also write it as 48 into 2. So we will get x plus n is equal to 48 and x minus n is equal to 2. Here we will get 2n is equal to 46. So n is equal to 23. Okay, so we can see we are getting different integer values of n for these two different cases. Similarly, we will get an integer value of n for 4 into 24 and also for 24 into 4. Then for 6 into 16 and 16 into 6, 8 into 12 and 12 into 8. So how many are we getting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the answer will be option 3. In this question, we have to arrange the following numbers in increasing order from smallest to largest. Now, before we think about anything else, we should observe the numbers, see if there is some pattern, some similarity. And now very easily we can spot a similarity. In each of these values, the two numbers that are there, the difference between them is 8. For example, 5951 difference is 8. 3729 difference is 8. Okay, that is what we will use. So now let's just try to spot a pattern. If I give you two values in the same pattern as the other values that are given in A, B, C, D. For example, if I give you square root of 9 minus square root of 1. Okay, what will that be? Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 1 is 1. 3 minus 1 will be equal to 2. Now let us just compare this with another set of values in the same pattern where the difference will be 8. So if you look at, for example, square root of 25 minus square root of 70. 25, 17, difference is 8. Square root of 25 will be 5. Now square root of 17 we can approximate. Square root of 16 is 4. So square root of 17 will be a bit more than 4. Let's take it to be approximately 4.1. So 5 minus 4.1 will be 0.9. Now we can see the pattern. We can see that when the numbers were smaller, 9 and 1, then the final value we got was 2. When the numbers increased, 25 and 17, then the final value decreased. So we can say that when the numbers keep increasing, the final value will keep on decreasing. So out of the different values that we have in A, B, C, D, which one has the smallest numbers? B has the smallest numbers, square root of 37 minus square root of 39. Okay, so B will be the largest one. B will be the largest one. And after that, which value has the next set of smallest numbers? So we can see that 59, 51, which are in A. So A will be the next largest after B. Okay, then after that, which one is the next set of smallest numbers? 79, 71 in D. So D will be the next one. And finally, after that, we will have C. Okay, so we can see that numbers in increasing order will be C, D, A, B. Okay, where B is the largest, C is the smallest, and that is there in option 4. Okay, in this question, we have to find what is the area of an equilateral triangle whose inscribed circle has radius r. So to understand this, let's make the diagram. Let's say this is an equilateral triangle with sides A. What is an inscribed circle? So it is a circle drawn inside the triangle such that it is touching all the sides of the triangle in this manner. And here it has been given that this circle has radius r. Okay, so the radius here is r. Now this circle is called the in circle and this radius is called the in radius. Property is that the in radius of an equilateral triangle is equal to the side of the triangle divided by 2 root 3. So we will get that A is equal to 2 root 3 into r. And now we have to find the area of the triangle. So area of the equilateral triangle will be root 3 by 4 into square of the side. So we will get root 3 by 4 into 2 root 3r whole square. So that will give us root 3 by 4 into 4 into 3 into r square. 4 will cancel off. We will get 3 root 3 r square. And that is there in option 4. Okay, in this question, we have 3 pipes P, Q, and R, which can fill a tank in 6 hours. After working at it together for 2 hours, R is closed and both P and Q can fill the remaining part in 7 hours. Number of hours that will be taken by R alone to fill the tank. Now we have information in terms of the time taken to do different work. So we will let the total work be the LCM of the times, the very basic LCM method. Times are 6 hours, 2 hours, and 7 hours. So we will let the total work be equal to the LCM of 6, 2, and 7. So that will come out to be 42. So let the total work be 42 units. And now we can find the efficiency of P, Q, and R together. So P plus Q plus R. Okay, they can fill the tank in 6 hours. So they can do the total work of 42 units in 6 hours. So their efficiency will be 42 by 6. So that will be 7 units per hour. Now what about P and Q? So P and Q can fill the remaining part in 7 hours. We don't know what is the remaining part just yet. That is something we have to find out first. So let's do that. We have that after P, Q, and R were working at it together for 2 hours. So P, Q, and R together in 2 hours, how much work could they have done? So we have got the efficiency, 7 units per hour. So in 2 hours, they must have done 7 into 2, which is 14 units. Okay, and then we will get the remaining work. So the remaining work will therefore be the total work of 42 units minus the work done of 14 units. So that will be 28 units. And this remaining work was done by P and Q together in 7 hours. So for P plus Q, the efficiency will be the remaining work of 28 units by the time of 7 hours. So that will be 4 units per hour. Okay, and now we can find the efficiency of R. So P plus Q plus R is 7. minus P plus Q, which is 4. So that will give us 3 units per hour. So the time taken by hour alone to finish the work. Total work is 42. Hour's efficiency is 3. 42 by 3 will give us 14 hours. So answer will be option 3. In this question, we have x minus 1 by x is equal to y minus 1 by y is equal to z, and z minus 1 by z is equal to x. Now, we have to see which of the following equations are true, the ones in A, B, C. So if you look at A first, we have 1 by x, 1 by y, 1 by z. Those values are there in the original equation. So now if we add up the 3 original equations, then x, y, z on the left hand side will be cancelled off by x, y, z on the right hand side. Okay, then ultimately we will just get that 1 by x plus 1 by y plus 1 by z is equal to 0. So the first equation A is true. Now in the second one in B, we have 1 by x square, 1 by y square, 1 by z square. So let us square each of these original equations. So when I square the first one, I will get x minus 1 by x whole square. That will be x square plus 1 by x square minus 2 into x into 1 by x. So that will simply be minus 2. And on the right hand side, square of y. So that will be y square. Same for the next one. So y minus 1 by y whole square will be y square plus 1 by y square minus 2. And that will be equal to z square. Third one, z square plus 1 by z square minus 2. That will be equal to x square. Okay, now we need 1 by x square plus 1 by y square plus 1 by z square. We have those terms here. And now again, if we see, if we add up the 3 equations that we have got now, x square, y square, z square are there on both the sides. So they will cancel off. And ultimately we will get 1 by x square plus 1 by y square plus 1 by z square is equal to, and minus 2, minus 2, minus 2 on the other side will become plus 2, all of them. So we will get plus 6. But B is telling us that the value is 8, whereas we are getting 6. So this equation given in B is definitely not true. Okay, now how you could have solved this faster is, you could have eliminated those options which have B, because we have seen that B is not true. So you could have eliminated option 1, option 3 and option 4. Then only option 2 is remaining. Okay, but I'll show this also why C is also true. So in C, we have to find 1 by x into y plus 1 by y into z plus 1 by z into x. Now we'll use a basic algebraic identity. So we will use that 1 by x plus 1 by y plus 1 by z whole square is equal to 1 by x square plus 1 by y square plus 1 by z square plus 2 into 1 by xy plus 1 by yz plus 1 by xz. Now we have the value of 1 by x plus 1 by y plus 1 by z, that is 0. So left hand side 0 square will become 0. And we know 1 by x square plus 1 by y square plus 1 by z square will be 6. Okay, so when that goes to the left hand side, it will become minus 6. And minus 6 divided by 2 will give us minus 3. So 1 by x into y plus 1 by y into z plus 1 by x into z, that will be equal to minus 3, which is what we have in C. Okay, so only A and C are true. So the answer will be option 2.